So you might notice the shed's a little bit empty at the moment. There's no shorty in here, there's no GU in here, and there's a good reason why. So it's been about 4 months since I last uploaded a video to YouTube. If you did watch the last video, then you would have seen that we were starting on the new project GU. I pulled the TD42 out of the shorty, and we were going to do a ZD30 to TD42 conversion on the GU. So I did actually finish that conversion on the GU, and in that time I also had to make the hard decision to sell the shorty. So you're probably wondering, why did I sell the shorty? Well, I can tell you I didn't make that decision lightly. The fact of the matter is I just didn't have the time to finish it. It is a massive restoration to do all the rust repairs and everything else that the car needed. We did put in a lot of time and effort, like a full year went into that, just working after work, weekends, everything. But I just did not have the time to completely finish it the way that I wanted to. But don't be disappointed that the shorty's gone, because I found a solution to that problem. I bought another shorty. So before we get into how and why I bought this new shorty, we need to go back a few months to where we left off on the GU build. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're getting stuck straight into the GU build today, and we're going to start by removing the engine, which in my opinion is the worst diesel engine Nissan has ever made, the ZD30. And we're going to be making way for the mighty TD42. Bushproof, reliable, doesn't overheat. Let's go. First up, I need to remove the grille, and we can get to the bolts to remove the bull bar, which will give me better access for the engine crane. Next, I'm disconnecting all the intake and vacuum hoses so I can remove the intercooler. So when it comes to doing the wiring harness for the engine conversion, I know there is places you can send off your harness and they'll modify it and everything for you and make a plug and play setup, but I'm in WA, it's going to take ages to get all that done, so I'm going to make it nice and easy. I'm just going to use the existing harness. I'm going through and labelling all the plugs where they come from, and I've noticed going through them that most of them are the same plug as the TD, so we should be able to plug and play most of it, but obviously there's a few wires we need to lengthen and shorten, but it should be pretty simple. With the wiring harness disconnected and out of the way, I now need to remove the radiator and the fan shroud. Now I could get access to remove the fan, as I don't want to damage it when I'm removing the motor. The radiator header tank also needed to come out, as I'm changing it over to the TD42 overflow style bottle. You can use the ZD30 one, but I want to keep things nice and simple on this conversion, so I've gone with the older setup. So that's everything disconnected engine bay side. So next up I need to jack it up, pull the starter off, and then we can separate the engine and gearbox. Now I need to remove the front half of the exhaust and the downpipe, as this is going to be changed. So I didn't really notice until I've had it up on the hoist, but it's actually got a 3-inch Taipan exhaust, so I'll probably keep that and just modify it to suit the TD downpipe. So the interesting thing, nearly every exhaust bolt was finger tight on this, so I don't know what they were doing with it beforehand. With that out of the way, the next thing I needed to do is remove the front and rear drive shafts. going to leave one bolt on there this time, because last time I dropped the drive shaft and I took the other end off because I didn't leave a nut on the end. If I didn't mention it before, I'm also doing an automatic to manual gearbox conversion. While it would be nice to try running the automatic behind the TD42, it's definitely a lot cheaper and easier to fit a manual gearbox, and it'll also be more reliable in the bush. Not sure what was going on there, a little bit of oil came out, but then when I took the shoe off, there was actually no oil inside there, so that's a bit of a weird one. So I got the exhaust off, I've got the drive shafts disconnected, and I've disconnected the handbrake cable. So I'm just going to get my transmission jack and lower the gearbox down a touch, just so I can get to the top two bell housing bolts. I want to get them undone first, then we'll screw that back in, and then I can undo the torque converter bolts, and then we can lift the engine out. I've just put a bit of a safety strap on there just in case, you never know, might drop suddenly or something under the jack. And this is how you get the bell housing bolts out, multiple extensions. To get to the torque converter bolts, there's a little cap you take off in here, and then you can get to the bolts, and there's 4 bolts to remove, and they're 14mm. Finally, it was time to hook up the engine crane and pull out the ZD30. Well, that's the motor released now, so I'm just going to let the tyres down and hopefully that'll be enough to get that sump over the front radiator support. Just like that, the ZD30 is out and ready to go where it belongs, in the bin. So I got the motor out alright, now it's time to drop the gearbox. It's going to be a bit sketchy doing this on my own. I have got a transmission hoist, but it doesn't really have the right sort of cradle for it, so I've run 2 ratchet straps on there and just fingers crossed it just comes down nicely. Removing the gearbox was a bit of a tricky task on my own, as I had a bit of trouble trying to get it balanced on the transmission jack with that small cradle. So I had to have a few goes at getting it to sit right. I ended up finding it easier to fit the new gearbox on the ground using the engine crane through the cab. So unfortunately at this point I started to get super busy at work, and I really needed to get this patrol back on the road and get this conversion finished. So I didn't manage to finish recording the whole process, but I did get some photos and some small video snippets. So with the driveline stripped, I bought a Series 4 manual TD42 gearbox and all the other parts I needed to convert from auto to manual, and then I fitted them into the car, which was pretty straightforward. Then while I had the motor out, I thought it would be a good time to install a new clutch, so I went with an X-Terrain heavy duty clutch, and then I got the factory flywheel machined. Next it was time to drop in the TD42 and bolt it to the gearbox so I could get the right position to weld in the new engine mounts. With the wiring, I decided to reuse the original ZD30 harness, which pretty much plugs straight into the TD42 plugs. The only thing I needed to add was power for the injector pump fuel solenoid, which I got from the wiper motor. Then finally it was time to crank over the motor and see if it starts. With that done, I mated the TD42 downpipe to the rest of the exhaust, and it was time for a sound check. With the conversion now complete, I decided to add an intercooler, which is just an eBay job for now to help with EGTs. Next up, it was time to fix the faded paint, so I resprayed the bonnet and the flares in factory silver, which come up great. Then for the finishing touches, I added a rear draw system, an ARB bull bar, and a Tracklander roof rack. And that's where the plans started to change. So I had the GU finished and on the road for about a month, and then we decided we were going to upgrade our caravan. Unfortunately, we went a bit bigger than we originally planned, which meant that the GU could not legally tow it. So unfortunately, that meant we had to keep the 76 series for towing. The GU was originally going to replace that, but unfortunately it just doesn't have the tow rating for the caravan, so I decided to put it up for sale. And that's where this shorty comes into the picture. So I put the GU up for sale, and I wasn't planning on buying another car, but I was really starting to get the itch for another shorty. So the only problem with that is trying to find a factory TD42 shorty in good condition with minimal rust is nearly impossible, and I just did not have the time to do a full restoration. So I was looking on Marketplace for a long time, and then I saw this thing pop up. It was super clean, minimal rust, factory TD42 with lots of engine work done. The only problem was I hadn't sold the GU yet. So I was just going to leave it, but I thought I may as well message the guy and just see if he would be interested in a swap for the GU, because they were priced around the same sort of amount. So I ended up messaging the guy, and funny enough, the reason why he was actually selling this shorty was to buy a 4-door GU. So we ended up having a bit of a chat about it, met up 2 weeks later, and the deal was done. So after all that, I finally ended up with my dream 4-wheel drive. It's registered, it's running, factory TD, heaps of work done, so let's check it out. So this thing's had a fair bit of work done to it, so we'll go through some of the features and I'll show you some of the changes I've made since I bought it. So first thing you'll notice is this paintwork is super clean. So it's had a respray at some point. It looks like a better job than what I could do, so I can't complain with that. So the first mod I had to do was replace the seats. So the 1988 original seats were like sitting on a wooden park bench. So I've upgraded to some BA XR6 seats, and to say they're comfortable is an understatement. So we've got a near new set of 33-inch Maxxis Razor tyres on some 15-inch steel rims. So up the top we've got an old school Tracklander steel roof rack, which has been modified to suit a rooftop tent. Now it did come with an ARB rooftop tent, but I've had them before on the shorties and I find it's just too much weight up the top and you risk rolling over really easy. So up the front we've got a nice old school steel bull bar, which is actually winch compatible. Once I move my number plate up a bit higher, then I'll be able to run the fair leading winch in there. We've got a Uniden UHF aerial, and we've got some steady LED headlights. Next up, we've got a Safari RMAX snorkel, which leads into a radius airbox. And then we've got the best part, the factory Silvertop TD42. So this thing's running a whole set HX35 turbo, a PDI front mount intercooler, and a custom 12mm fuel pump. It's also running a UFI fan and hub, which I've had great results with before. For suspension, it's running a 2-inch lift and front and rear adjustable panhards. And we also have a front auto locker up front. So one of the things that's been done on this is the rear windows have actually been replaced from the old sliding ones to solid windows because the frames rust out, but they've done the driver's side, but not the passenger side, so I need to change that. So as you can see on the passenger side, we've got the factory sliding window, but the seals are starting to deteriorate, as you can see there, so I will replace this one for a solid window. So coming around the back, we've got an MCC rear bar. Now this did come with 2 swing outs to mount spare wheels, but I don't really have a need for a second spare wheel on this, and it makes it a lot easier to get into your back. So I added a crash pad spare wheel bag. I'm a big fan of how these sit because they actually wrap right around the tyre and they don't start drooping down like some of the other brands. So attached to the back door, we got this custom made Max Track holder, and I believe also a shovel holder. So coming into the back of the shorty, you'll notice something a little bit different. So I've actually kept the rear seats in this, and I've still managed to get a set of rear drawers that'll fit and give me decent storage. We've also got a race bred rear barn door table. So I'm wanting to do this build a little bit different. Normally with the shorties, I've ripped out the back seats and then set it up like a normal wagon, but this time I want to be able to have my kids in the back, use it as a daily driver, and then still tour with it. So these back seats have actually got a really awesome feature where they can fold all the way forwards and then they almost act as a cargo barrier, so you can still put heaps of stuff behind these drawers here. So the next mod I had to add was a 270 awning. So this is a 30-second awning, the 2.1 metre version, and this is the new version that has the wind flap, so they're supposed to be really good in the high winds. So it's full freestanding, and I've run the older model for many years on the 76 and it's been really good. So that is the Shorty 2.0. So I am super keen to be back in a Shorty. At least with this thing being registered and running and driving, we can finally start making some trip videos in this thing, and then we'll get stuck into the mods. So I haven't even had a chance to take this thing off-road yet, so I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, where should I take it first? And don't forget, like and subscribe, because we're going to have more of this car on the channel, and we'll see you next time.